Stacy Dragila, Katie Moon, Jennifer Schur. Bet you don't know who these women are. They are some of the best women pole vaulters ever. Stacy was the first woman to win the women's Olympic pole vaulting event, and Katie Moon is a pole vaulting dragon. Her record is 4.8 meters, which is an insane 15 feet 11 inches. So far, I've cleared 3.65, which is just shy of 12 feet. They call me Frog Leaper. I'm the first 15-year-old in my school to clear more than 11.6. If I can clear 12 feet, I'll get access to D1, and for a sophomore to reach Division 1, well, that's a Grammy-like award. I bounce, wringing my hands together, waiting for Natalie to clear the pit so I can take the run. The sun blazes down, and I practice the breathing techniques we've all learned. Weeks and months and years have led to this moment. My mom's in the stands, wringing her hands, but smiling. Coach waits by the pit, pen in hand, marking how fast it takes everyone to clear the runway. You've got to be as fast as a racehorse. The faster you run, the higher you go. The faster you run, the higher you will go. He's been my coach for 3 years, since I started vaulting in middle school, and he said the same thing. The faster you run, the higher you will go. For 3 years. He'd show me videos of all these women, and we'd start a stopwatch to time their runs. The highest vaulters were usually the fastest runners. That's why, before the sun comes up each and every morning, I'm outside, racing my way around the neighborhood until I think my lungs are going to explode. I've gotten pretty fast. Still, my heart rate skyrockets as my right foot comes down on my first step on the run. I'm holding the pole near my waist and pumping as hard as I can. Adrenaline courses through me. There's nothing like racing down the red track staring at a pole you know is 12 feet off the ground. A pole you also know you've never successfully cleared. A million thoughts go through my mind all at once. I need to wait until the pole starts to bend to throw my left leg up into the air, pushing the pole so that I'll go higher. If I don't twist at just the right time, I can fall head first into the pit. A month ago, doing exactly that landed me with a concussion. We've all been hurt. This was my second concussion. Mom threatened that if I got another one, she'd ban me from the pole for the rest of the year. That cannot happen. And yet, it can. In pole vaulting, it's all a matter of timing. 1 second off can mean the difference between landing safely on my back and landing with an injury. Excitement, nerves, and fear. Katie Moon, the Olympic gold medalist, the dragon, says that she's always scared just before a jump. After the Olympics, she had to talk to a psychologist and learn tricks for overcoming the fear on the track. If anyone ever tells you she's not scared of catapulting her body upside down 12 feet into the air with a pole made out of aluminum and fiberglass, she's either lying or foolish. And either way, she's gonna get hurt. I throw my pole into the back corner of the box, push my right knee into the air, while at the same time, just when I start to feel the pole bend, I contort my body, twisting around the bar, turning so that I'm falling to the pit correctly. My back hits the mats, my knees and elbows bend. It takes a solid 5 seconds before I even hear the commotion around me. It's not until I feel Coach screaming at me that it sinks in. I did it. I cleared 12 feet. In that moment, I scream, jump up from the mat, feeling him crushing me to his chest. I look to the stands and see Mom jumping up and down, pumping her fist in the air. Euphoria takes over, pushing fear out of the way until all I can feel is the excitement that makes me forget temporarily that I was ever scared. Staring down the run at a 12-foot bar is not fear. Not really. Not when you love the sport and it's something that you are choosing to do. It's just excitement on steroids, which makes it feel like fear. Real fear makes you nauseous. Real fear makes you think there's no way out. Real fear shows you how small you are, how weak you are. Real fear is the only thought you have is surviving. I always thought of myself as strong, but I don't think I'm strong anymore. The choke of elbow locked against my throat was so powerful. The fingers clamped over my mouth, dug into my cheekbones, and covered my nose. I couldn't breathe. Coach always says we're supposed to stay calm, but I didn't. I couldn't. I've never been unable to breathe before. Real fear is knowing you've been here so long in this same room that people have probably stopped looking for you. What is it they say? Life goes on, right? I don't even mean to do it, but suddenly I'm screaming as loud as I can. When he first brought me here, he told me it would do no good. Money is no issue for me, and I didn't take any shortcuts in preparing your new home. It's totally soundproof. No sound at all will get through. Still, the sound is loud to my ears. My scream is the only noise I've heard in days. The room is totally dark. No light at all. So I have no idea whether it's daytime or nighttime or how many days have passed. I know nothing. The worst part is that there's a small part of me that wants him to come back. Because if he comes back, slivers of light will sneak in when he opens the door. Why are you doing this? I'd screamed the last time he was here. Fear kept me from striking out, but I'd begged for an answer. Why are you doing this? With tears streaking down my face. His voice, calm and deep and normal, sounded confused when he asked, "Why am I doing what, exactly? I haven't hurt you. Why won't you let me go? Why are you keeping me here?" When he didn't answer that, I tried another question. Why can't I have light? That wouldn't hurt anything. There's nothing here I could use to do anything with. I can't get free. Why can't there be light? Because he seemed patient, even amused, that I didn't already know this answer. I need you to trust only me. You depend on me for everything now. You don't need to see. I'll see for you. At some point, when you've trained long enough, when the run becomes part of your daily routine, when your body knows to expect it, something shifts. The adrenaline is still there. The fear of hurt is still there. But one day, you notice you're not counting your strides anymore. You're not thinking about when to lift your knee into the air. It happens almost automatically because you've conditioned your body to do those things. Instinct. Coach used to say he wanted the steps of vaulting to become instinctual so that we could do it sleepwalking. I lay on my back staring at the black ceiling, my screams finally fading. I breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. I stare at the ceiling. Katie Moon is one of my favorite athletes. She trusted her instinct when she reached out to a psychologist. She says that sometimes being strong is knowing when you need help. Her coach helped her train her mind to work better on the track, to overcome the fear. So I spring up into a sitting position. I stare into the void. The room is dark, but my eyes have adjusted. I can make out shapes. I know about how big the room is. I have to train my mind, like Katie Moon trained hers, to overcome this room. I have the highest jump record in school. I just vaulted 12 feet as a sophomore and got into D1. I can do this. I just vaulted 12 feet as a sophomore and got into D1. I can do this. I just vaulted 12 feet as a sophomore and got into Division 1. I can do this. The chant goes through my head a third time until I'm saying it out loud. If I can overcome the fear of falling from 12 feet, then I can overcome the fear of this room. I just have to think like the trained athlete that I am. Each wall needs a purpose. This wall. I reach out both hands and touch the wall that's to the left of the door. This wall will be for squats and push-ups. I'll do 2 sets of 100 of each a day. Running my hand along the wall, I walk slowly until I hit the far wall. I stand on my tiptoes, running my fingers along every inch of this wall. There's nothing to grip, just a smooth wall. So I walk, counting my steps, thinking of strides. When I first learned to vault, the first thing we had to do was measure our strides by running and keeping count of how many times our right foot touched the ground. I do that now, except instead of running, I walk. I walk in a straight line until I reach a corner. I turn and walk back, counting again, to see if I get the same number. I am measuring the length of this wall. 15 steps. I will use this area for knee step walking. I try it out, lifting each knee to my chest every time I step. If you do this fast enough and long enough, it will wear you out. I will do it every day until my body forces me to stop. The third wall I will use for sit-ups. The fourth wall, the wall with the door, stops me. I reach my hands up and smile when I feel the top of the door. My fingers rest on the lip. It is just wide enough for me to grip. I will use the door frame for pull-ups. I can't tell daylight from dark, so I need a way to keep track of time. Coach times us on everything. I know I can do 100 sit-ups in 5 minutes. Another 5 minutes for 100 push-ups. Between all the exercises I have planned, it'll take me roughly an hour. Hopelessness floods through my system. But you have a plan. I sit back on the bed, staring at the room. The walls don't feel as small right now. Instead, I imagine myself working out against them, keeping myself pole vault ready, fight ready.